Hello everyone and welcome to another channel update. Just a little insight into who I am and what I have to deal with. So my allergies are really bad. So when I just wake up in the morning, I always have really bad chest congestion. So if there's ever a bit in my commentary where I obviously dubbed in something and it sounds like I'm sick, usually it's because I'm editing commentary after I just woke up. So that's just a little insight into some of the nonsense I have to deal with, and should also tell you that I just woke up and I'm gonna take a sip of my water. And try to clear my throat, which you guys should not have heard. So in terms of the YouTube channel, I don't have a whole lot to add that I didn't put in my previous update, which I think I posted in November or December, probably December. God of War 2 just started posting, so obviously that's what's posting next. And you should already know, if you know that game, that we're going directly into God of War 3. So the only news on that front is that, well, from the previous update video I did, is that all those games are done. The LPs are done. They're uploaded. They're scheduled. Everything's good to go. Pretty much. There was a glitch in the PS3 emulator where I got this compiling shaders message. It happens throughout video 1 a lot. I wasn't re-recording that again. The emulator stutters really bad in certain sections in that game. So I did the best I could to edit out a lot of that, especially during cutscenes, but it is what it is. I did the best I could with that one. Going through that game on emulator was really, really rough. I even tried booting up my old PS3 to see if I could get my old capture card to pick it up, because I was prepared to reduce the video quality to reduce the amount of work I'd have to do. But my Elgato software on my Windows 7 computer, yes, I still have one of those because it has a CD burner on it. Well, CD, DVD, whatever. But it wasn't happening. The software wasn't working. The device wasn't connecting. And I use that thing so rarely now. Actually, I don't even use that at all anymore since Mass Effect 3 on my old channel, that I don't remember any of the troubleshooting techniques. So I said, screw it, and just dealt with the emulator. We make it. I'm sure there are a few visual glitches. I know there's a part that I talk about in the LP where there's this grating you're supposed to jump on and it's just a black box because of a graphical glitch. I didn't notice too many huge graphical glitches, but I'm also visually impaired, so But either way, God of War 3 is done, so we're just going to go ahead and finish the God of War series. After that, we're going to do Legacy. After that, we're going to finish the Legacy of Kain series. See, I'm still talking like I'm going to edit this, because when I'm doing my commentary, if I notice I fuck up when I say something, a lot of times I'll just stop and start saying it again, knowing that I'm going to fix that. I'm not doing that for an update video. So we've already done Blood Omen. So I went ahead and recorded Soul Reaver 1 and 2 on the remaster. And then Blood Omen 2 will be a re-upload from my old channel, an LP I recorded back in 2022. Unfortunately, there are things I know about the series now that I don't think I knew then. So that LP honestly could have been better. I probably could have cut a lot of the combat, which would have reduced the video length. Those things are pretty massive. On my old channel, I split them up into somewhere around 35, 36 smaller videos. I'm not doing that this time. I'm just uploading them one video per chapter. So many of those videos are going to be over an hour. It just is what it is. I'm not going to drag that out. I should have scheduled those to upload daily, but I didn't. So I'm just going to be keeping with my normal schedule. I've got videos all the way through late August, because after Legacy of Kain ends, I'm going to re-upload my Onimusha 1 playthrough, which is something else I'll get to here in a bit. So after I recorded the Legacy of Kain Defiance, which is the final game in the series, Let's Play, it was announced that we're getting a remaster of that game, and that's coming out, I believe, in a couple of weeks. I think March 3rd, if I remember correctly. So you can imagine how annoyed I was, and I've bitched about it to a few of my friends on Discord over the last week or so. That LP is now outdated and it hasn't even published yet. Talk about shit timing. But I had the comfort of save states for that one, so it did make the gameplay experience much better. So ultimately, I think it was a much more pleasant experience because I did not have a good day when I was recording Soul Reaver 1 and 2 without save states, which is why I was originally going to do those games on emulator. But the remaster looked so nice that I couldn't really help but do them on the remaster. So after Legacy of Kain ends, as I said, I'm going to re-upload Onimusha 1. And this brings me to the first thing that I wanted to bring up to my audience. Originally, my plan was to do the Onimusha series after that. 2, 3, and 4. And I know there's another game coming out. Depending on how that one plays, I am interested in checking it out. If it's another Souls game, I'm not doing it. I don't care about Souls games. I'm not interested, so I'm just not doing it. But we'll see. I don't know what it's going to play like, so we'll see when it releases. Yes, this is going to be a Titan Gaming style update video where I just ramble. Because what I should have said at the start is I didn't have very much new information on YouTube that I had, or for my YouTube channel, that I haven't already mentioned in the previous update video. It's just I can confirm that now all those projects I talked about, God of War and Legacy of Kain, are done, uploaded, and scheduled. So a problem I ran into with the Onimusha series, though, because I could do that. I could do 2, 3, and 4. And I think at the very latest, next year, which might be this year when I record them, absolutely, I want to go back through those games. The problem is I've been meaning to get Tenchu 3 done for a while. It's February now. I'm talking about videos that wouldn't post until late August. Obviously, I'm very ahead on my videos, which is a really nice place to be. And I think I've mentioned this on some of my videos that I posted. If not, I will on some of the ones that are scheduled. What I want to do with Tenchu 3, and this is why this is going to take forever, I want to try to create a consistent story. It was much easier to do in Stealth Assassins because all I had to do was pick and choose which characters played which missions, use a mission creator to create other missions to supplement the story, and I was done. And I'm actually really happy with how that series turned out. But with Wrath of Heaven, you essentially get 3 different stories involving the same characters, for the most part. The main antagonist isn't in Teshu's campaign. So that's taking a lot of work. It's involving using AI voices for certain parts, which are not great, but it's better than me trying to read out dialogue I come up with. So I'm just going to roll with it. And that's what I'm working on now. That's what I'm going to go back to working on after I'm done with. See, this is why I like editing my commentary, because you get a lot of this bullshit just cut out. I worked on that all day. I worked on the first video all day yesterday and had fun doing it. I like when I can take a Let's Play and do something creative with it. And yes, I'm getting back to Onimusha in a second. So the point is, if I'm going to go back and do a Tenchu series, now that I have the time to work on it, I thought I might as well go ahead and do this, because I started recording it about a year ago. Originally, I wanted this playthrough to go up March of last year. That's why Hellblade ended up posting instead. I'm actually not really happy I posted that one. That just doesn't really seem like an LP that I should have reposted. Whatever. Tangents, I go on them. So the thing is, if I do the Onimusha games, 4 games, 5 depending on how the 5th one works out, Tenchu 3, and for Halloween, I thought I might as well go ahead and do Fatal Frame 4. It's the only one of those games I haven't done. Although the 2 remake is coming out soon too, so we'll see how that goes. And a friend of mine bought that for me for Christmas pre-order, so I will have that when that releases. Thank you. I'll use your old channel username, Balemore Blind Gaming. If I do all those games, that is going to be a lot of Japan. So I'm not sure, or Japanese settings, or a Japanese setting. So I'm not sure if people are going to want to see all of that at once. So that's why I am thinking of postponing doing the rest of the Onimusha games, is just to break that up a bit. I could put off Fatal Frame 4, but that game has been on my computer for 2 years now. I'd like to do that one so that I can post it and uninstall it from this computer. And honestly, I've wanted to play it for a while, and I would like to get that series finished. So if you guys want to see me go ahead and do the Onimusha games, even though Tenchu and Fatal Frame will be mixed in there, cool, I don't mind doing it. Just let me know. That's one of the major reasons I wanted to post this update video anyways. So as far as YouTube goes, that's about all the updates I've got. That's what's scheduled. That's what I'm working on at the moment. Those are at least some of my plans, so feel free to offer up your suggestions as far as anything I mentioned. As for Legacy of Kain Defiance, I thought this would be a good opportunity to give my thoughts on that remaster, simply because by the time that posts, obviously it won't be topical. I want to do a live stream after God of War finishes and after Legacy of Kain finishes, where I discuss the series. But that won't be topical by the time we get there. So, one, I think it's cool. I think it's awesome that they're remastering the game. And it sounds like they're putting a lot of extras in there. There's going to be some lost levels, and I believe a Dark Prophecy demo. Dark Prophecy was going to be the next game that got shit canned. I'm not sure how that's going to turn out. I'm going to look at it. I'm hoping there's enough between the lost levels and the Dark Prophecy demo that I can makeshift some sort of conclusion to the series, because, well, if you're not familiar with the Legacy of Kain series, it does end on a bit of a cliffhanger. They obviously assumed they were getting another game. So that is another project I might do later on this year, depending. If there's not enough to work with, then obviously I won't be able to do it. But I would like to try. And that's also why, so I don't want to hear anybody complain when my Defiance Let's Play posts and it's not the remaster. That's why. It wasn't available when I recorded it. But I do think it's cool that they're remastering it. It sounds like they put a lot of work into it. I do wish they had added quick save options to these remasters. That would have been nice, but I'm not sure how much work that would have been. I think I mentioned that in the Soul River games, but I can't remember. Those don't start posting till April, I think. But I do think it's cool that they're at least trying something with the series. As for the side-scrolling game, I didn't even know a comic existed that's based off of, but it sounds like it's injected with modern feminism. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, I want women to have equal rights. That's fine, but modern feminism isn't that. This isn't the platform for me. I'm not for it. I'm not going all into that, but it's the obvious, from what I've heard, we're introducing a girl and she's responsible for everything sort of thing, which I don't count as canon to me. And I will admit, I never read the comic and I'm not going to be playing the game. To me, somebody put in charge of a series needs to respect what came before it. And don't try to retcon stuff that people have known for 20 years or more, because Blood Omen came out in 1996. Defiance came out in 2003. So we're talking over 20 years of memories and lore. And they should not be trying to overwrite that. So it just stinks of modern politics, which I don't care for, and so I'm not going to bother with it. Plus, it's a side scroller. I'm not typically into side scrollers. If I were going to play a side scroller, it would probably be Symphony of the Night, because everybody says that game is awesome. And I don't like bringing a series back with, one, a comic that nobody liked, and two, making it a style of game that, one, I don't care for, and two, the games never were. They were always 3D. Sure, Blood Omen was isometric, but it was still relatively 3D anyways. At least you had a 3D space to move around in. You weren't stuck to one line that you could walk across, which is how I think of side scrollers. Again, they're just not my thing. No hate on anybody who likes side scrollers. So all of that going into it, I'm just not even paying that game any mind. I really wish they had backrolled that project. I do get putting out something kind of cheap to test the waters, but if you're going to put out something cheap, then you can't really judge the fan base if they don't like it. Now, I'm not saying Legacy of Kain needed to make a major blockbuster game. They could do a AA style game and have it work and have the fans be happy with it. But you have to bring back Amy Hennig for that. And she may not even want to work on that anymore. So we got our obvious results of Legacy of Kain without her and some of the core people that worked on the stories for those games. With Blood Omen 2, if you never saw my original playthrough, well, you can either watch somebody else's or you'll see it whenever it reposts. It did not go well. So if nobody on these projects worked on the original games, and I'm assuming that's the case, I don't know that for sure, then I can't imagine it going well unless they get fans to work on it. Fans who know the lore and have some ability to write. Yeah, see, none of that would have been topical in August. Also, going back to God of War, because that's another live stream I want to do, talking about the series, which won't be topical by this point. They announced God of War 1, 2, and 3 remakes. I think they're going to be all in one collection. That's my understanding, at least. My issue is the PSP games. Their stories are pretty important to Kratos' journey. So I really feel like they need to be incorporated. In 3, Helios even mentions the events from Chains of Olympus, which he kind of had to. You really couldn't not do it. And also there's the mention of Atlas, which was meant to explain why he knows Kratos in God of War 2. Spoiler, that's something that will be coming up later in the LP, obviously. And then Ghost of Sparta, which does feel a bit awkward because it's never mentioned in 2. It is mentioned briefly in 3. Really does help explain why Kratos is pissed off at the gods. Now with these remasters, I do think it does offer them some opportunities to expand on all of this, make these stories kind of work a little better than they do without the PSP games, which even that still feels awkward. But I would like to have had them incorporate those two games as well. Ascension, I don't really care about. It felt tacked on. I wouldn't be opposed to them adding in Ascension as well and making that work with the whole story, but I just don't see that happening. So I would have liked to have seen them incorporate the PSP games as well. But if they're putting 1, 2, and 3 as a remake in one collection, that's going to be a lot as it is. So I'm sure that's probably not something they could really manage. Although the entire game isn't even on a disc anymore anyways. It's all digital, so they could still do it. It would just be a massive project. I'm not sure how I feel about the project. I feel like it needs to play like the old God of War games. I just have a distinct feeling it's not going to. Now, I've done no research, so I don't know what any of the devs have said about this project. But knowing how Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes turned out, I know different company, but still, and even the Fatal Frame 2 remake, what we've seen of it so far, I imagine it's going to play like 2018 and I assume Ragnarok. I hated 2018 so much I won't even play Ragnarok. Plus, I hear modern feminism got put into that game as well. So again, just not something I'm willing to touch. But on the back of hating 2018 so much, I was never going to play Ragnarok. If that's what they do with the remakes, I'm not playing them. I don't like that gameplay style. I don't like an over-the-shoulder hack and slash. I think over-the-shoulder for a shooter is fine. I really enjoyed the Resident Evil 4 remake, which unfortunately I don't know how to bring to this channel, but that's a whole other topic, and I've already gone on for, geez, over 20 minutes. So yeah, this is basically going to be a Titan Gaming style update video, but I'll call it update and thoughts on God of War and Legacy of Kain or something like that, so it's fine. If it plays faithfully to the original games, if they make the story a little better, if they don't inject modern politics, if they are just good, solid remakes, I would consider playing them. But my issue is I already have the original games. I just finished playing those games. It took me about 6 months to do them, with a brief stop to play the Soul Reaver games. I don't feel like those games need a remake. Yes, there are some things that are not perfect about those games, but they are of their time. I don't really think it's necessary to remake them. I know that's not the age we're in. We're in the age of no creativity, so just remake everything now. And honestly, I cannot think of a modern remake that's come out that I've played that I've liked. Well, okay, that's contradictory. I did say I do like the Resident Evil 4 remake, but I will say this about the Resident Evil 4 remake. There are still things they did in that one that I didn't care for. So it still had its issues too. It's just I was never really attached to the original because I didn't really like the original game that much. So I was able to enjoy the remake more because of modern quality of life improvements to the old format than anything else. And also that was going to be the easier game to remake, compared to something like Resident Evil 2 or 3 or Fatal Frame or Silent Hill or anything like that. But yeah, I'm just not into these modern remakes. Now, I would be fine with remaking bad games. Something like Devil May Cry 2, where a lot of people don't like that game. I would be okay with remaking that and trying to make it actually good or something that fits in with the series. I would be okay with remaking Blood Omen 2 and trying to make that better and make it something that story-wise fits more in with the series. Things like that. And I'm not even saying Blood Omen 2 is necessarily a bad game. I'm just using it as an example. But I don't understand the point of remaking good games. If somebody wants to play the old games, make the old games available. That's it. So I don't know. I probably won't touch the remakes. If I do, it will not be for a long time because, like I said, I just spent about 6 months playing 5 God of War games. It was a good time, but I was really ready for it to be done by the end. Oh, and shifting back to channel updates and everything briefly. Yeah, this is, oh God, this is going to be a long video. Jeez. Titan, I'm coming for you in terms of record for length of update videos. Coming for you. Hide your wife, hide your kids, hide your husband. I'm coming for you. Okay, that is an old people reference. Anyways. There are a few videos in God of War 2 that a friend of mine was not on, and then he's not on most of God of War 3. No, we didn't have a falling out, nothing like that. One, the quality of his mic, you can hear it in the games that I've posted so far. It got to be too much to edit. In fact, for the video 1 of God of War 2 that posted the other day, I had actually recorded solo commentary for it. And I was going to go through with that, but then I decided to suck it up and go ahead and finish editing the original commentary because he used a different mic for the rest of the series. At least for the rest of the God of War videos he was on, it improves dramatically. So that helped a lot because I take a lot of time to edit my commentary tracks, way more than I should. And I know that, but a lot of times I don't say something I wanted to say, or I don't say something as well as I think I should have said it. Or there just ends up being something said that needs to get muted. So I need to put something in there to fill the space. A lot of things can happen, and I'm just really picky when it comes to that. Or I get annoying clicking sounds in my audio, which happens sometimes. They'll probably be in this, but I'm not editing that. Or I put the noise gate on to get rid of breathing, and bits of the audio are cut out, so I have to go in and fix that too. There's just a lot of crap that I have to deal with that I don't know how to not deal with. Or if I say something and then I bump my desk, I don't really want that in the audio. I'm trying to learn to let go of some of this, but it got to be a lot. And this isn't me shit talking my friend, just his audio, you can probably hear it. There's a lot of variance in the volume. And I tried to fix that as much as I could. And a lot of times he would just cut out. I got fed up. But thankfully, like I said, he switched mics. For the rest of the God of War series that he was on, it worked out okay. I didn't really have any problems with volume spikes or him getting too quiet from what I remember. Those issues did seem to come back up because this will tie back into updating a little bit. I tried to pick back up Stellar Blade a little bit for my Rumble channel. And he was on that. I don't know if he used the old mic or not, but I was noticing that same issue where I'm getting a lot of different volume level spikes. Sometimes he's quieter, sometimes he's louder, and yeah, there's a reason I haven't bothered messing with editing that commentary track yet, so that video has not posted. But I am trying to get back into Stellar Blade, so for anybody who follows my Rumble stuff, that will be happening. Once I finish this Tenchu process or project, then I'll focus more on that. I'm just really getting excited about this Tenchu project. Like I said before, probably 20 minutes ago now, I spent all day yesterday, which was Saturday, because I have no life, working on that project, recording missions, using cheats so I could access the Through the Portal mission, which is going to be the first one in that series because of where I feel like it'll fit in the timeline. Getting extra cutscenes from the Return from Darkness version of the game, which was on Xbox, I believe. Getting extra footage that I could throw in, getting AI dialogue, writing the dialogue for the AI, trying to find voices that somewhat maybe kind of worked. And honestly, it was a lot of work, and I'm not even done yet, but I had fun doing that. So I'm going to be really happy to continue doing that later. But yeah, so it just got to be a lot of work. And so in God of War 3, well, God of War 2, we actually did record commentary for one of the 3 videos he's not on, but I was hammered when we did that commentary and I did not want to put that out there, and I wasn't going to ask him to redo the commentary. And the other 2, he wasn't available for commentary, and I said, screw it. I didn't want to wait, so I went ahead and did it anyways. But there's a lot of editing with that I just got kind of tired of doing. And again, this is not his fault. This is just how picky I am when it comes to editing commentary, that after a while I just said screw it, and I finished out God of War 3 on my own. The games librarian does make a couple of appearances in God of War 3, so he's on a couple of those videos as well, which was nice to have. But yeah, so he's not in most of God of War 3. Again, nothing to do with a falling out or anything like that. Just I got tired of editing multiple people doing commentary, and that does add editing time. It already takes me hours to edit commentary tracks anyway, so that's how that's going. I think I'm finally out of stuff to really get into and talk about. I could talk more about the Tenchu project, but I will save that because that's not even relevant right now since it's not done yet. Anyways, that's it for this massive update video. Thanks for watching, and I will see y'all in God of War 2 video 2, which posts tomorrow. I forgot to say this before, but if you couldn't tell by my thoughts on a side-scrolling Legacy of Kain game, I also have zero interest in a side-scrolling God of War game. So I will not be touching that. Then again, also I hate the last 2 God of War games they released, so I see no need to reward a company that makes stuff I don't like.